The US quickly shut down the James Webb Telescope after it revealed what NASA had been hiding on Mercury. Close to our big day, this little world is normal. Dazzle with random items, think diamonds, scattered across the burning landscape. But beyond the horizon lies a strange and massive core that defies previous scientific predictions. What untold stories are contained in these amazing discoveries? Follow along as we uncover revelations that may shake up everything we thought we knew about planets. On the surface, Mercury looks only a fraction of the closest to the Sun, but don't let its size fool you. Beneath the bubbly exterior is a set of secrets. Recently, geological studies have revealed something surprising. Diamonds are sprinkled all over the surface of Mercury. Diamonds on one of the hottest planets in our system. And that's just scratching the surface. Delving deeper, it turns out that Mercury's extremes are very different. These revelations raise a burning question. How does Mercury live apart from its sibling planets, and what other secrets does it hide? Mariner 10 was a pioneer because it was the first spacecraft to visit Mercury. It released the first close-up images, showing a world full of craters and strange bulges, very similar to our moon. The mission discovered that Mercury has a rough surface and a magnetic field that is more surprising and core than scientists thought, challenging long-held ideas about Mercury's composition. But that's not really surprising. The Messenger mission, launched 31 years later, took our understanding of Mercury to a new level. Unlike Mariner 10, Messenger was designed to orbit Mercury, allowing it to map the planet for a long time. Nearly 200,000 images show us parts of Mercury we've never seen before, deepening our understanding of this fascinating planet. One of the most interesting discoveries made by the Messenger spacecraft was the discovery of a surprising amount of magnesium and manganese on the dark side of Mercury. This has scientists wondering about the environmental processes that produce such high levels of these elements. They also found that Mercury's magnetic field is stronger in its northern regions, which is surprising compared to other planets in our solar system. These findings led scientists to realize that Mercury's interior composition and growth were very different from what they had previously thought. On Earth, magnetic fields are usually created by the movement of molten iron in the core. But the special internal arrangement of Mercury creates a kind of magnetic activity. What else does the planet Mercury look like? In addition to its craters and bulges, this planet is facing natural phenomena. During the day, Mercury's surface temperature reaches 806 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt the surface. On the other hand, at night, the temperature drops dramatically and reaches -292 degrees Fahrenheit. This large temperature change occurs because Mercury's thin atmosphere does not do much to regulate its temperature or retain heat. But it's not the heat that's surprising about Mercury. Recent studies have revealed some surprising phenomena on the surface. In 2012, Messenger data revealed signs of volcanic activity, including evidence of past eruptions. This discovery challenged the earlier belief that Mercury was inactive in agriculture. Then, in 2020, scientists made a very interesting discovery. They found water ice in some of Mercury's craters that are still sheltering. These regions, always sheltered from the sun, are cold enough to freeze water, even though Mercury is close to the sun. The presence of ice has raised new questions about Mercury's ability to support primitive life forms. Could life forms, similar to those found in Earth's harshest environments, survive in these icy pockets of Mercury? This question opens up exciting possibilities for understanding how life can survive under planetary conditions. But that's not the end of the story. In 2018, a collaboration between the European Space Agency and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency launched a spacecraft called Bepi-Colombo to Mercury. This planet is expected to reach Mercury in 2025. Once there, Bepi-Colombo will gather information about the planet, including what is on the surface and its terrestrial history. Interestingly, despite its proximity to the Sun, Mercury has a strong magnetic field and some water ice. But here's what's even more amazing. Mercury has a day longer than a year. When we think of the planets, we usually think of them rotating on one axis each day and turning once a year. But Mercury is different. On this small, fiery planet, a day longer than a whole year. When we look at Mercury, the day is longer than the year. The symphony of sun and shadow. The Earth only takes 88 days to revolve around the sun, a year shorter than ours. However, A full day on Mercury, meaning a full rotation on its axis, is 176 Earth days. Therefore, a year on Mercury is only half a day. This happens in different situations. If you're stationed on Mercury, you'll see the sun rise slowly growing as it moves across the sky. But something different happens in 2020. Data from the Messenger spacecraft showed that there is more water vapor in the planet Mercury than scientists previously thought. This water vapor may form when hydrogen from the solar wind reacts with oxygen in rocks on Mercury's surface. Another amazing thing about Mercury is how fast it spins around the sun compared to how slow it spins on its axis. This unusual structure affects its magnetic properties. Although Mercury is small and rotates fast, it still has a large magnetic field, a surprising discovery for scientists. Other studies show that this magnetic field is created by unique internal motions in the liquid core, influenced by the rotation and orbit of Mercury. But the fact that this magnetic field is weaker than your Earth's is still important. Mercury's surface is protected from the strong solar wind. Without this shield, the solar wind would do a better job of destroying Mercury's thin atmosphere. Mercury's rapid orbit around the sun, along with its slow rotation, creates interesting phenomena. On the surface of Mercury, there are places called hot poles. When the sun is in the sky for a while, these places get very hot. On the other hand, areas near the poles of Mercury remain in constant darkness, and ice forms even though the planet is very close to the sun. This happens because of Mercury's orbit around the sun. The worms in these shady places don't see the sun, so they stay very cold, even when the rest of the world is hot. Scientists now wonder if other materials, perhaps carbon materials, are hidden in these icy regions. Mercury's fast orbits and slow rotations affect the study of the planet. Its orbit around the sun is extremely difficult for spacecraft. Spacecraft must use complex navigation techniques, including multiple flybys of Venus and Mercury, in order to get around Mercury as fast as possible. The Bepi-Colombo mission currently uses these birds to adjust speed and heading. Bepi-Colombo was launched in 2018 and is expected to begin orbiting Mercury in 2025 after 9 flying cities. Once there, are challenged by Mercury's strange day-night cycle, requiring careful control of temperature and energy to survive. As you dig deeper, Mercury's secrets are revealed. Odyssey is in the core of the planet, but this is not the only challenge. Recent studies have shown that Mercury's rotation has been faster, but has slowed over time due to the sun's influence and possible collisions with other celestial bodies. This discovery will not only help us understand the history of Mercury, but also give us a better understanding of the nature of the planets in the solar system. Information continues to be learned, and new questions arise about Mercury's surface and interior. Scientists are interested in the core, which is liquid in nature despite its frozen state, and how its unusual orbit affects its physical properties. These ongoing discoveries keep the scientific community excited about what we can learn more about Mercury. Mercury continues to surprise scientists and challenge what we know about how planets form and evolve. So, what other secrets is this tiny planet hiding below the surface? Although Mercury is the smallest planet in the universe, it is full of mysteries that have surprised scientists. The small size does not prevent him from having some unusual features. One of the most interesting things about Mercury is its large core. Dr. Nancy Chabat, an international scientist, led a study that found that Mercury's core makes up 85% of the planet's mass. To put it this way, it is only 15% of the Earth's surface. This raises an important question. Why is Mercury so important? Mercury is popularly thought to be massive, but most of its outer layers were lost in a major impact early in the solar system's history. This theory, known as the hit-and-run phenomenon, was proposed by Dr. Eric Fogg. He thinks that maybe something big happened to Mercury, and the outer material exploded, leaving behind the iron core we see today. But Mercury's wonders don't end there. It also has a magnetic field, something that scientists from a small, slowly rotating world have not thought about. Unlike Venus and Mars, which do not have a magnetic field, Mercury has a magnetic field that is about 1% of Earth's. This discovery, made by NASA's Messenger mission, has scientists scratching their heads. Then comes a new change. Dr. Katherine Johnson and her team discovered that Mercury's magnetic field is not centered. In fact, it covers about 20% of the planet's radius. This change affects variations in Mercury's crust, which affects the flow of heat from the core. that was not enough. In 2020, scientists discovered that Mercury's surface contains volatile elements such as sulfur, potassium, and sodium. It adds more confusion to a complex planet, more questions and new research as scientists try to piece together Mercury's mysteries. But these findings only scratch the surface of what Mercury is still hiding. What else does this little planet show? It is surprising to find that some substances that evaporate at high temperatures are found on planets near the Sun. Dr. Patrick Peplowski of the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory has a good idea. Mercury's turbulent heart. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Mercury's geography is its chaotic terrain, a vast, rugged region of hills and valleys near the South Pole. Discovered during the Mariner 10 mission in the 1970s, the area is about the size of Texas. Dr. Thomas Waters of the Smithsonian Institution believes that large earthquakes, caused by the sun's pull on Mercury's orbit, could have formed the Earth. But that's not all. Recent studies have improved our understanding of Mercury's internal structure. Used by Dr. Amir Khan of the University of Zurich used data from the Messenger mission to investigate the interior structure of Mercury. His research shows that, like Earth, Mercury has a liquid exterior and a solid interior. However, Mercury's interior is much larger, which may explain some of its unusual magnetic properties. These amazing features of Mercury are forcing us to rethink how planets form and evolve. It reminds us that, closer to home, the vastness of space, there are many more discoveries waiting to be made. While we wait for more discoveries, we can imagine what other interesting facts are hidden beneath the surface of Mercury. Current research and missions show that the mysteries of Mercury are more fascinating than anything seen on the surface. The interior design of Mercury is very impressive. While Earth has a rocky inner core surrounded by a watery outer core, Mercury is the opposite, a water-dominated core with a stable center. This was confirmed by NASA's Messenger mission, which studied Mercury's ability to learn more about what's inside the planet. Mercury's solid center is 2,000 kilometers across, half the size of the entire core. On land, it is only 20% of the core's volume. This difference in size and composition is important because it helps shape Mercury's magnetic field. Although Mercury's magnetic field is weaker than Earth's, it is still strong for a small planet. Just above Mercury's core is a thin layer of mantle. Scientists now believe that the mantle is only 420 kilometers thick, much thinner than Earth's mantle, which is 2,900 kilometers thick. This thin mantle affects Mercury's geological activity and the planet's heat distribution. But that's not all. There's more to Mercury than meets the eye. In 2012, the Messenger mission found evidence of ancient volcanic activity on Mercury. The study found unique, shallow depressions called cavities that formed when valuable materials were sucked onto the surface, suggesting that Mercury may have more of these materials than previously thought. In 2020, scientists used Messenger data to find evidence of a large magma reservoir in the past on Mercury's surface. This ancient magma ocean was an important place in the formation of the surface and deep layers of the Earth. This magma ocean helps explain why Mercury's surface is a broad, flat plain, especially in the northern hemisphere. These regions, known as the northern volcanic plains, were formed by massive lava flows early in Mercury's history. But Mercury's wonders didn't end there. In 2022, scientists discovered some secrets beneath the rocky surface of Mercury, revealing that there is still much to tell about the universe. Scientists studying data from the Messenger spacecraft have discovered traces of nitrogen hidden beneath Mercury's surface. This nitrogen is the remains of a dense, ancient atmosphere that was driven underground by global warming and continued exposure to sunlight. This discovery raises important questions about Mercury's history. Was the air really thick then? What does this say about the past, and could it support life in some way? Mercury also has liquid ice in its dark polar holes. Although this ice is on the surface, it is still hidden from the sun's rays and is protected by extreme cold in these shadow areas. Recent studies suggest that some of these ices are relatively new, possibly delivered by comets and asteroids within the past tens of millions of years. Now we see signs that Mercury is still turning, uncovering Earth's secrets, but that's not all. These dark spots in the polar holes are believed to contain organic matter, possibly brought there by space collision. This inorganic material, which is less stable than water ice, offers a unique opportunity to study how carbon atoms are distributed in the inner solar system. Mercury's subsurface features provide clues to Earth's history. Unlike Earth, Mercury does not have plate tectonics, but shows signs of subduction as it ages. This can be seen in the many thrust faults on the surface. Parts of the Earth's crust are pushed higher than others, sometimes reaching heights off several kilometers. These errors tell us a lot about Mercury's internal structure and past. But here's where it gets better. Further research into these errors suggests that Mercury is still active. A study published in 2019 found evidence of grabens, small valleys formed by sediments near some of the world's largest faults. These phenomena are relatively small, indicating that Mercury's crust is still changing. Mercury's magnetic field is different from Earth's. Even the Earth's magnetic field comes from molten iron. If water is found, it could reveal important information about Earth's history and raise new questions about chemical interactions beneath the Earth's surface. But it's not just about Mercury. Studying the interior will help scientists learn more about the nature of rocky planets like Earth. Understanding the history of Mercury, its volcanic activity, and the formation of its core is essential to building a complete picture of how the planets of the solar system, including Earth, evolved. Of time. Every new discovery about Mercury adds to our knowledge and gives us a new perspective on the early days of the solar system. For example, studying the gases and other materials beneath Mercury's surface can reveal information about the ancient atmosphere and conditions billions of years ago. Looking ahead, excitement is growing for future endeavors at Mercury. These missions will use advanced technology to explore Mercury's surface and its hidden depths. With each mission, we hope to learn more about this mysterious planet and its place in the larger story of the solar system. Mercury, despite its proximity to the Sun and its small size, is still a mystery. Diving into the depths will not only help us understand Mercury itself, but it will open up the secrets of the formation and evolution of the solar system. The study of Mercury provides a unique opportunity to understand the Sun's effect on the planets, and will become a major focus of science and exploration. What discoveries will challenge our current understanding of the solar system? Stay tuned, like and subscribe for more.